and now punish the GP. So Damwon's draft it's really scary. But DragonX, one of the few teams that really do play for Lane Kingdom, try to get super early advantages, and despite I think this draft is giga lopsided in Damwon's favor, I don't think that you can count DragonX out entirely, especially because Damwon has a tendency to donk off even with advantages.
Yeah, they might go a little bit too ham on this one, but DRX has similar ideas generally, so we'll see who's going to donk off harder in this particular game, as the scaling is going to be there for DragonX. It's not necessarily something you talk about when you do have the lethality Varus and things like LeBlanc, but there will be that Sejuani and the Ornn able to amplify the rest of the team, and you can see exactly how this composition wants to work in these sort of river rams that we're going to have and these fights over objectives. It's all about whether Deft can land the piercing arrows, and we've already seen that he is very, very good at doing so. So let's just keep track of it. So far, he has a 90% win rate on the Varus. 9 out of 10 games he has won, and towards the end of the split, actually ticked over to being his most played champion so far in the LCK for 2020. So interesting that Deft has got full comfort, but he's up against an Ezreal Yuumi lane, which is very difficult to deal with. And Zoe, Ezreal, Yuumi in the mid game, terrifying stuff as we get into game number 1 of round 1 of the playoffs.
And here we are.
Much better for DragonX. Having counterpick for Chovy, which could be even more terrifying.
Yeah.
As we have a look at some of these highlights, as Deft helps pick off this kill very, very easily. As him and Chovy had one hell of a game. As LS, you need to vote for player of the game.
All right, do I even need to? Come on.
Yeah, that's true. just write down the Chovy. All you need to do is write down Chovy.
Do not speak of what my vote was, Atlas.
You did an Atlas. You're not allowed to do that. That's my job. I'm supposed to go against our player of the game god, Chovy.
Yeah. He got robbed. He got robbed by Deft.
He did. Yeah. On the English broadcast.
Yeah, on the English
Watch
broadcast,
Chovy pick it up anyway, because everyone on the Korean broadcast is going to vote for Chovy. And we're like, well, we were part of the problem, guys. We were part of the problem this whole time. As he did play very, very well, but honestly, the points of the game where Chovy was performing was after Deft had done all of the work in the early game to make sure that DragonX were in a position where this composition could win. Because if Deft wasn't that huge, this game looks very different, as you illustrated throughout that game.
Yeah. And all of it stemmed from Damwon being greedy with the better scaling team composition, and they stayed in bottom. And it was the start of the snowball. Or Nuguri, I mean, the way that he played out Avalanche, once that happened down in bot. Nuguri, I mean, the way that he played out the laning phase against the Ornn, he actually lost, even though he had a call, which was also interesting and a good sign if you are a DRX fan, because Nuguri is going to be integral to Damwon's chances at winning. And now he's going to have to go in with a blind pick here, most likely, in game number 2, and that's not that great. And jungle set, that's the one thing that's nice to see. Not because anything good happened, but what happens
because
when set's under leveled, doesn't have items,
Yeah. And maybe people will be deterred from picking the jungle set again. As we can see, Deft did 30k damage in 30 minutes.